welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. I hope you're doing very well on this cosy autumnal Sunday. I've got some really autumnal trousers on. Burgundy cords. Lovely. Marks and Spencer's Peruna. They had them in grey as well, but this is a much better colour. Welcome to a library haul. This library haul may well involve some overlap from books that I have shown you in a Friday reading vlog before, because often that's the day I go to the library to pick up books. Not today though, because I'm cheating the system because I've got some books that are due to be picked up from the library. However, they're Christmas books, and if anybody else puts any reservations on them, that means I've got to give them back after 3 weeks, which is in November. So I'm not going to pick it up until the last day I can pick them up is the 29th of October. So I'm trying to cheat the system by getting them as late as possible, and then that will give me more chance of getting them read during the Christmas period rather than having to force myself through them in November. But anyway, library logistics. Here I am showing you the books that I've got out from the library at the moment. These will not all get read before they've got to go back. I normally like to have a big give everything back to the library before the end of the year so that I can start afresh in the new year. Some of these I've been renewing them, and then when they're due back, because you can only renew for up to 4 times, I've been saying, oh, if nobody else wants them, I'll get them back out again. So yeah, I think we might have got to the point where some of these are never going to get read. Shall we start? We'll start with the paperbacks. There's 4 paperbacks and the rest are hardbacks. I do love the library so much. Right, okay, so I'll try and talk about where they came from. This is The Beach by Alexander Garland. In fact, this can probably go back. I picked this up. We watched The Beach, the film, earlier this year that's got Leonardo DiCaprio in it. We enjoyed it, didn't we, David? Apart from that awful bit where there was a massive shark attack.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of blood in the sand. A lot of blood in the sand. And after that, just coincidentally, I went into the library and this was on the new books shelf, and I was like, oh, we've just watched that, maybe I'll get that out. The truth of the matter is, I'm probably not going to read it. And also, maybe it's a summary book as well, so that can actually go back. But would highly recommend the film, and I imagine the book is great too, but we'll send that one back. Then I've got, and this one will be being read for sure, this is Orlanda by Jacqueline Hartman. Jacqueline Hartman is the author of I Who Have Never Known Men, which is a book that I read earlier this year. It was the best book that I've read this year so far. Really, really, really good. Jacqueline Hartman's books are translated from the French, and I Who Have Never Known Men, if you'll indulge me a second to talk about that book before we talk about this book. It was the most monotonously thrilling thing I've ever read in my life. It was about, you're following a young woman called The Child, and she's called The Child because she entered this sort of storyline as a child, and she is kept in what she believes to be an underground dungeon with 39 other women. They are looked after, or looked after is a bit of a reach, overseen by prison officers who watch them from beyond these bars. They're not allowed near each other, and every single day is the same, and they're bought food and they're just living their days out there. They don't really know what's happening, etc, etc. One day, whilst they're being fed, some alarms go off and these guards just scarper, leaving the door open, and they're able to escape. And it's true, they're underground, they're in a dungeon underground, and they go up these stairs, and when they exit the room, the building, they can't see, they can see nothing for miles and miles and miles, just land, no buildings, no people, no infrastructure, absolutely nothing. And they stay for a while at the little base, and then they decide to explore. It was bloody brilliant, and I love sort of like exploration survival style things and hearing about the monotony behind that as well. So oh my god, I just thought it was absolutely amazing. There's no sort of resolution, so don't go looking for resolution in that, but yeah, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So I don't know what to expect from Orlanda. It says, there's a voice in A-Line's head, a voice that wants out. Brash, boisterous, sexually adventurous, this voice seems to be the antithesis of Aileen, a prim literature professor for whom each day promises to be as quiet and conventional as the last. That is, until after 35 years of imprisonment, her alter ego breaks free. Taking on a life of his own, Orlanda, A-Line's second self, slips into the taut, rugged body of a young man. As A-Line continues unaware, Orlanda follows, dragging gleeful chaos in his wake, vowing to leave both their existences forever altered. So yeah, I mean, that sounds completely different to what I got from I Who Have Never Known Men. Again, translated, this is translated by Ros Schwartz. Yeah, I will definitely get around to that, hopefully, in my birthday month as a treat. So that one's staying. Then I've got Misinterpretation by Lydia Zoga. This was on the Booker long list, which is why I put a reservation on it. I don't know if it's made it to the shortlist. I haven't really delved deep in the shortlist. I had very good intentions of reading as many Booker long list books as I could. I think I only read 2. So yeah, but this says here, in New York City, an Albanian interpreter cannot help but become entangled in her client's struggles, despite her husband's cautions, when she reluctantly agrees to work with Alfred, a Kosovar torture survivor. During his therapy sessions, his nightmares stir up her own buried memories, while an impulsive attempt to help a Kurdish poet leads to a risky encounter and a reckless plan. As ill-fated decisions stack up, jeopardising the nameless narrator's marriage and mental health, she takes a spontaneous trip to reunite with her mother in Albania, where her life in the United States is put into stark relief. When she returns to face the consequences of her actions, she must question what is real and what is not. There we go. We'll hang on to that for a little bit longer, I believe. And then I've also got another one which I think was on the Booker long list. This is One Boat by Jonathan Buckley. It's a Fitzcarraldo edition. I remember when getting this, whether or not I mentioned this in a Friday reading vlog, I think these are beautifully published books. Like, I love this blue cover. I love the French flaps that are also in that gorgeous blue. It feels like care and expense has gone into these, but I just do not like how close the words go into the margin. I find that very unreadable, particularly as we've got this lovely big margin around here. But what is this book about? On losing her father, Teresa returns to a small town on the Greek coast, the same place she visited when grieving her mother 9 years ago. She immerses herself again in the life of the town, observing the inhabitants going about their business, a quiet backdrop for a reckoning with herself. An episode from her first visit resurfaces vividly, her encounter with John, a man struggling to come to terms with the violent death of his nephew. Soon Teresa encounters some of the people she met the last time around: Petros, an eccentric mechanic whose life story may or may not be part of John's, and the beautiful Nico, a diving instructor, and Xanthi, a waitress in one of the cafes on the leafy town square. They talk about their longings, regrets and passing of time, their sense of who they are. Artfully constructed, absorbing and insightful, One Boat is a brilliant novel grappling with the question of identity, free will, guilt and responsibility. Will she get round to it? I think I'll hang on to it for a little bit longer. The first time, the intention was simply to find a place that was quiet, but not somnolent. Now we're on to the hardbacks. Because I put a lot of reservations on new books, I often get hardbacks. Hardbacks aren't my favourite book because I feel restricted when I'm reading a hardback because they're heavy. I can't read them in the bath. I don't really like taking them out with me because they don't tend to fit in my bag. What do you think about hardbacks, baby? What do you think? Do you want to come and say hello? Come here. Look. Hello, do you like a hardback? You're so special, aren't you? You're such a lovely girl, aren't you? She's definitely liking cuddles a lot more now.
Yeah.
She seeks me out.
I don't know if she likes them, I think she's just more willing to put up with them.
You seek me out, don't you? Oh, for a second there, I thought she was going to stay on my lap. My God. Right, we've got The Other Wife by Jackie Thomas Kennedy. I'm trying to think of the reasons I got these books out from the library. I think this was in a Sainsbury's magazine, which I do rate, spread of books to read over the summer, because I know for definite one of the other ones is. So this is The Other Wife. Oh, God. Susan Zuzu Brayburn is almost 40, same as me. She has the life she's always dreamed of: a beautiful house, a child, my cat Daphne, and a successful partner, my husband David. But something between her and Agnes has been off for a long time, and she can't help but wonder what if. What if she had chosen to live with her father instead of her mother after their divorce, to pursue art over law, and most importantly, to pursue her feelings for her male best friend from college, Cash, instead of marrying Agnes. When an unexpected loss takes her back to her hometown over a single wintry weekend, the questions in Zuzu's mind become too loud to ignore. She grapples with the choices she's made and the knowledge that she doesn't have infinite time to make changes. The Other Wife speaks to unfulfilled desires and the euphoric nostalgia that comes with the beginning of middle age. It is heartfelt and daring in its reckoning in the quest for joy. I think that sounds great. It sounds a bit sort of sliding doors, doesn't it? We'll keep that one for sure. Oh, this one's got lots of reservations on and I really want to read it, so I need to get it read soon. The only thing is that it's set in winter and it's a tiny little slip of a thing, and I feel like it would be really nice to read it. So this is me sort of idealising and romanticising reading, and that wouldn't it be lovely to read this when it's all snowy outside? We haven't had snow for about 4 or 5 years, so that's not going to be happening. But yeah, this is from Colm Tobin, who is the author of Brooklyn and the follow-up from that, Long Island, which I still haven't read. This is A Long Winter, and like I said, it's a little slip of a thing. It's just under 130 pages. It says, one snowy morning, God, imagine reading this in snow. After arguing with her husband, Mikkel's mother walks out of their home high up in the Pyrenees and does not return. With his younger brother stationed far away on military service and his father cast out by the people of the town, Mikkel and his father are left to fend for themselves. Together they will be forced to battle the elements and their resentment of each other through the long winter. Mikkel's desperate searching for his mother is only interrupted when Manola, an orphan servant boy from the next village, arrives to help in the house. As Mikkel is forced to confront the reality of his mother's absence, Manola offers the promise of new love and another kind of life. There we go. I don't think this will take me long at all. I mean, it's a smaller book anyway, it's shorter, and there's not all loads of words on the page. Yeah, but I'm going to hang on to that for as long as I can until it gets to, like, until it's absolutely chucking it down with snow outside like it does every single winter. Universality, another short one by Natasha Brown. This was on the book a long list. I absolutely need to read this. Like, the fact that it's only short, and I got this out, I was so excited about it. Remember, words are your weapons. They're your tools, your currency. Late one night on a Yorkshire farm, a man is brutally bludgeoned with a solid gold bar. Ooh. A plucky young journalist sets out to uncover the truth surrounding the attack, connecting the dots between a banker landlord, an iconoclastic columnist, and a radical anarchist movement. She solves the mystery, but her viral long-read expose raises more questions than answers. It says Universality is a twisty, slippery descent into the rhetoric of truth and power. Through a voyeuristic lens, it focuses on words, what we say, how we say it, and what we really mean. It feels a bit like Slow Horses, if I'm being honest. The first line, guys. A gold bar is deceptively heavy. I need to read that as well. Then I've got Albion by Anna Hope. I've read a book by Anna Hope before. What's the book by Anna Hope I read before? Has it got Anna Hope's other books on here? No. Maybe I haven't read a book by Anna Hope. This is when it will say it's a... No, Expectation. I've read Expectation. There we go. The Brooke family are gathering in their 18th century ancestral home, 20 bedrooms of carved Sussex sandstone, to bury Philip, husband, father, and the blinding sun around which they have all orbited for as long as they can remember. That's a lovely way to remember somebody, isn't it? If he's a nice person. Franny, inheritor of 1,000 acres of English countryside, has dreams of rewilding and returning to the estate to nature, a last line of defence against the coming climate catastrophe. Milo envisages a treetop haven for the super rich, where under the influence of psychedelic drugs, a new ruling class will be reborn. Each believes their father has given them his blessing, setting them on a collision course with one another. Isa has long suspected that her father thought only of himself and hopes to seek out her childhood love, who still lives on the estate, to discover whether it was her feelings for him that are creating the fault lines in her marriage. And then there is Clara, who arrives in their midst from America, shrouded in secrets and bearing a truth that will fracture all the dreams on which they've built their lives. That sounds bloody great as well. I mean, there was a reason I got all these books out from the library, and the reason is because they all sound great. The next one is Who Will Tell My Story? A Gaza Diary. I saw this in there and picked it up instantly because I just need to bear witness and be more educated on what is going on in Gaza. Who Will Tell My Story presents an ordinary existence interrupted by unfathomably seismic and unjust events. On the ground during the first months of the assault on Gaza following the events of 7th of October, the author of this diary, first published in The Guardian, maps out the physical and psychological terrain of life under siege. Traversing the bombed ruins of his country, we see him as he searches for foodstuffs and power to charge devices, maintaining contact with the outside world, checking in with his friends and family along the way. We see his heart swing between despair and faith, fear and optimism, his mind imagining different futures and confronting the brutal truth of his present. Yeah, sounds like it's going to be brutal. We will read, we will read. Then I've got The Heart-Shaped Tin by B. Wilson, Love, Loss and Kitchen Objects. I believe this to be non-fiction. No, it's not. It's not, I don't think. Is it non-fiction? We won't know. One ordinary day, the tin in which B. Wilson baked her wedding cake fell to the ground at her feet. This should have been unremarkable, except that her marriage has just ended. No, I think this is non-fiction because it's about this person. Unsettled by her feelings about the tin, she begins a search for others who have attached strong and even magical meanings to kitchen objects. She meets people who deal with grief or pain by projecting emotions onto certain objects, whether it is a beloved parent's salt shaker, a cracked pasta bowl, or an inherited china dinner service. Remembering her own mother, a dementia sufferer, she explores the way that both of them have been haunted by deciding which kitchen utensils to hold on to and which to get rid of when you think you are losing your mind. Wilson blends her own experiences with a series of touching personal stories that cross continents and cultures and reflect the irrational and fundamental human urge to keep mementos. Why would a man trapped in a concentration camp decide to make a spoon for himself? Why do some people hoard? What do gifts mean? How do we decide what is junk and what is treasure? We see firsthand how objects can contain hidden meanings, keep the past alive, and even become powerful symbols of identity and resistance, from a child's first plate to a refugee's rescued vegetable pourers. There we go. That sounds interesting. And also, like, Stacey Solomon does a programme about, it's called Sort Your Life Out, whereby they get rid of like half of people's belongings so that their lives can be more comfortable. And Dave and I aren't particularly sentimental people, are we, David?
Nope.
We don't really hang on to stuff, she says, sitting in front of 800 books. But I find that very interesting. Do you have things that you'd never get rid of, David, apart from me and Dappy?
Well, I mean, like, I'd keep, like, I probably wouldn't get rid of, like, vinyls and...
Yeah. I also think, like, considering we're not very sentimental, we hold on to a lot of sort of Christmas stuff that we get out every single year and things like that. I think we're more sort of nostalgic than sentimental.
But that's, like, reusability as well.
Yeah, we like reusability.
Like, stuff that just sits there, like, gathering dust.
Dust.
Like, with vinyls, they serve a purpose.
We've been listening to them this morning. They've been serving that purpose. So there we go.
Yeah. Next
up, we've got a spicy romance from Oti Mabuse, who is a previous dancer on Strictly Come Dancing here in the UK. And she's just been announced as head judge on the Irish Dancing with the Stars, which I should really try and watch. I wonder if it's on RTE Player, David. We'll have to have a little look into it.
Get access to it.
I know. We're already disappointed that we didn't get access to the Irish Traitors, but I have heard rumour that it's coming to the iPlayer after Celebrity Traitors is finished. But anyway, I don't really read romance unless it's at Christmas, when all these lovely sort of like An Irish Christmas Castle comes out and all of those sort of things. But I love Oti, and I thought if this is dance themed, I might be more into it. So yeah, I got this out, and maybe I will read this in November in my birthday month. Sizzling passion that will make you blush, swoon-worthy romance that will leave you breathless, and a cast of black female characters that you'll fall in love with. Slow burn, brims with heat and heart. For Lyra, Latin ballroom is everything. While her dreams of fame were cut short at age 19, she's never forgotten the connection that she felt dancing with a stranger at the Paris World Championships after party 13 years ago. Are you laughing, David?
Yeah, what a load of old crap.
When a chance encounter sees Lyra secretly audition for Slow Burn, a new dance show, she comes face to face with a blast from her past, and it sends her reeling. With his obscene good looks and attitude to match, Gabriel has been the darling of the dance scene since his mother taught him the Argentine tango as a child. Weird thing to learn from your mother, isn't it? The Argentine tango, very, very sexy dance to learn from your mother. So it's no surprise when he lands the lead role on Slow Burn, but with just a few weeks to go until the tour starts, he's at his wit's end and desperate to find a female co-star that can match him step for step. He needs to feel the heat, the fire, the chemistry. Then walks in Lyra. To fall in love, they first got to get back in hold. I think I'm going to have a great time with this. Let's have a look. So so this has been ghost written by somebody called Lorraine Brown as well. So this is Oti working in conjunction with Lorraine Brown. My fingers threaded through his as he led me along the long carpeted corridor of the Grand Hotel Paris. No. There we go. We're down to the last three. I've got Audition by Katie Kitamura. This I know definitely to be on the Booker shortlist. She says definitely, doubting herself instantly. Yeah, will I get around to it? We will see. And exhilarated. Also, a lot of the Booker books are shorter. An exhilarating, destabilising novel that asks whether we ever really know the people we love. Two people meet for lunch in a Manhattan restaurant. She's an accomplished actress in rehearsals for an upcoming premiere. He's attractive, troubling, young enough to be her son. Who is he to her and who is she to him? In this compulsively readable, brilliantly constructed novel, two competing narratives unspool, rewriting our understanding of the roles we play each day, partner, parent, creator, muse, and the truths every performance masks, especially from those who think they know us most intimately. Taut and hypnotic, Audition is Katie Kitamura at her virtuosic best. I've read Intimacies by Katie Kitamura. I knew I'd read another book by her. Then I've got The Parallel Path. Oh God, I really want to read this so much, especially now we're getting back into our walking. This is a non-fiction book from Jen Ashworth about walking the north, walking from one side of the north to the other Burnt out and longing for an escape, Jen Ashworth emerged from lockdown with a compulsive need to walk and to walk away. Armed with little more than the knowledge imparted by a 2-day orienteering course and a set of maps, she embarked on the most epic of English walk, Wainwright's Coast to Coast. Guided not just by Wainwright's writing, but also by daily lessons from her friend Clive, love the name Clive, facing an epic journey of his own, Jen's pilgrimage soon becomes more than just walking, a chance to reconnect and excavate, to re-engage with the act of caring for others and for oneself. But the walk's tricky terrain is not the only thing standing in Jen's way. As days go by, her balance begins to fail her, and the act of putting one foot in front of the other becomes a new exercise in caution. When a vicious heatwave forces her to pause her expedition, that's why I hate heat waves. No walking in the summer for us. And gives her opportunity to investigate the new limitations of her body, Jen is confronted with a life-altering diagnosis and a new path of self-discovery. Very keen to read that, very keen. Once I finish, I'm gonna have a little look at them and think which one I most want to read and which one I least want to read. The Greatest Possible Good by Ben Brooks. This was from that same Sainsbury's spread. It says, Arthur Candlewick spends 3 days in a disused mineshaft with only his son's drug stash, a book on the concept of effective altruism, and a bottle of medium-priced Bordeaux for company. When he emerges, he has made the life-changing decision to become a good man. Deciding to sell the family timber business and give away his wealth to charity, Arthur's family becomes convinced that he has lost his mind. His university-bound daughter, Evangeline, wants to change the world, but perhaps not at the cost of her own privileged life. His son, Emil, good at maths and not much else, becomes more distant than ever. And his wife, Yara, who arrives at the airport 4 hours early and fears that AI and climate change will leave her children unemployed. I don't want to read that. That's going back. She's decided. Right, let's have a look at what I've got left, and then I'll pick which one I want to read most and which one I want to read least. So, just from having gone through them, the one I want to read most has just done a runner. So, I want to read most either The Parallel Path by Jen Ashworth, the walking book, and the other one I want to read most has gone on the floor as well. The book about walking coast to coast across the north, and then the other one I want to read most is Orlanda by Jacqueline Hartman, just because I loved I Have Never Known Men. So those are my two topsies. My bottomsies, maybe One Boat, just because I feel put off by that. So in which case, do I just return that? Because I'm not going to get those all done. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's a good, that feels good. That feels good that I'm returning 3 of them and I've got 2 ready to go. Cool. So those are the books that I have most recently got from the library. Let me know what books you've got from the library. Let me know if you've read any of these. And I'll see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Goodbye.